Good evening, I'm Stephanie Wilkins. Queen's University's AMS Society is asking City Council to take another look at the possibility of limiting the weekly garbage bag allowance to 1. The student government believes that the student housing occupied by as many as 8 students needs the leeway when it comes to trash. Good evening. Tonight we take a look back at the stories that made headlines in the Quinte region this week. While Kingston and Gananoque are in a tug of war over a commercial casino, the Quinte region is quietly going about plans to host one of its own. Food lovers flocked to a downtown Kingston restaurant Monday night to indulge in guilty pleasures, prepared by 8 of Kingston's finest chefs. The chefs shared one kitchen and one goal: to raise money to provide healthy food for those in need. This weekend will be a busy one at Royal Military College as former and current students gather for their annual reunion. This is Newswatch, first at 5:30, your first look at what's happening this Monday, July 16th.
So Stephanie, I hear council kicked off in a bit of an interesting way last night.
Thanks, Heather. Well, yes, it was definitely interesting. 3 council members did come in wearing shirts that said "My Kingston" does include post-secondary students. Now, that was councillors Neal, Glover, and Downs that were wearing that shirt. Well, the mayor wasn't very interested in that display. He said that the council chambers have a bylaw that no signs are allowed, and he said especially when it comes to councillors, it's inappropriate. Well, the councillors were a little hesitant to take off their shirts, but eventually they did give in. They put blazers over top of them so that they weren't taken out by security. Heather?
Now, Stephanie, the head of the school has many years of experience with the public school board. So why is she switching to the private system?
Well, Elizabeth Turk is the head of Lea Hurst College, and she says that she's dreamed about opening her own school since she was a little girl. She says that she has a dream of what this school will look like, and that dream is finally being implemented. Now, Ray will not be putting his hat into the ring in the upcoming Liberal leadership campaign, but he will remain the interim leader until the new face of the Liberal Party is elected in April of 2013. While McGuinty gave no definitive reasons for his resignation, he has been dealing with mounting criticism on several issues: public sector wage freezes, dealing with the teachers union, and moving a power plant from Oakville and Mississauga to Napanee. New numbers suggest that dementia rates across the country are expected to double over the next 30 years. Tomorrow, join me as we take a critical look at Kingston and what it's doing to prepare as the baby boomer generation gets ready to retire. Kingston can't make any decisions on when to build a third crossing until the province approves the environmental assessment. Beyond that, it will cost the city at least $6 million in order to get the bridge shovel ready. Now, we did learn some information from an inside source that says that Kidd's office computer and hard drive were removed in September and that he has been on leave since then. Stephanie Wilkins, CKWS Newswatch, Kingston.
I don't even like looking at these, you know that?
Why?
It's not who I am.
It's difficult for Michelle Hamlin to look back at photographs during the time in her life when she was known as Michael. She spent over 40 years living as a man before moving to Kingston to start a new life and a new job as an institutional services officer inside Kingston Penitentiary.
Showing up as Michelle was so scary. I remember one of the janitors, I stopped him in the parking lot and I said, "You are walking with me in," just so I could talk to him and I could keep my mind off of what was going to happen.
Michelle opened up to her boss Kathy before coming out at work.
I haven't had any problems, difficulties whatsoever accepting her choice, and this is all about her choice.
Wary's only concern is about Michelle's safety.
Any female that works in a male jail has to look out for their own security. They have to know where they're at all times, know who's around them, how to dress, how to talk. Doesn't matter if they're trans or not.
While many accepted her change, it has been difficult for Michelle to say goodbye to those who won't. Her parents haven't been able to fully accept the change.
They lost a child.
Yeah.
They have experienced the death of their son.
Losing family support is something that can make everyday life hard to deal with. Michelle's physical appearance is changing, and she is changing emotionally as well, something Ruth Wood, who has transitioned herself, knows all too well.
It's a real roller coaster ride because there's some days when you feel confident and you're sure that everything's going to be okay, and the next day you can feel like this is it, that's the end.
I'm still in the early stages of transition. I'm 8 months on hormones right now. I have to continue that for the rest of my life. Facial surgery I want to get done, and then the actual sexual reassignment surgery. And then I'm no longer going to consider myself a trans woman. I'm going to consider myself a woman then.
Michelle has chosen to come out now at this point in her transition to help raise awareness, hoping that the journey of those who come after her may be made a little bit easier. Stephanie Wilkins, CKWS News Watch.